Many couples are waiting to get married in their 30s or later, which often means more financial baggage. Steve Huntley with Trilogy Financial helps unpack some of those challenges. Lots of folks want that fancy wedding, but then when it comes time for the bill, not so much fun.
Yeah.
Is that one of the main things that just sets them on the wrong course?
Yeah, people, at least in my practice, I've noticed that people are older. In other words, instead of the model being in their early 20s, now they're getting married and maybe in their early to mid 30s. So all the baggage, all the debt that goes with it, especially the school debt or credit card debt.
You've had some time to get into a little bit of trouble.
Right, yeah.
And they're taking that well into their mid 30s and they're bringing that baggage in with them.
That's right. And you're seeing a lot of situations where you have what's called hidden debt, where you get married and suddenly your wife comes to you and says, "Oh, I have $10,000 worth of credit card debt that I never forgot to tell you."
Love you, honey.
Love you. Love you a lot.
That's not a great date conversation.
Yeah,
so they're not doing that then, right?
Yeah. Theoretically, if you do, decide to get married in your mid 30s, aren't you a little bit more stable financially? Theoretically, like you're supposed to be a little bit more responsible with your money.
You are prepared for life. You have gone through school. You have gone through like sometimes like a graduate program or
And
something
have a
like
steady career
that.
at that
You've got a
point.
job. And now you're ready to get married.
But that student loan debt is what kills a lot of people.
The student loan debt is this huge, massive, pressing weight on the economy. It's $1.2 trillion. It's the biggest debt in the United States right now.
And usually people aren't getting the jobs that, unless you're going to be a lawyer that, you're going to
really make
pay
a
back.
significant dent into that debt.
Yeah. So they spend their time, when they're ready to buy a house or they're ready to invest in their future retirement, they got to deal with this debt, because student debt does not go away.
Well, speaking of retirement, and if you're an older couple and you're going to have kids later, are you going to have enough time to save for retirement, pay for kids' colleges? I mean, is
It's
that
a lot.
a big stress?
Yeah, you're slicing up a good 12, 13 years there.
Yeah.
Of saving.
So when you're in your mid 30s, usually the scenario is you'd have another 30, 35 years. The magic numbers always seems to be 65. So what happens is you have multiple things. You put a kid through college, which is extremely expensive. You want to retire, maybe you want to start a new business or something like that. You have to prioritize your goal. You can only do so much,
So what's your first step in advising these couples?
Find out what you want. Find out what do you want. I mean, that's a lot of my job, is to find out what people want, where their problems are, and then build a plan around what they want, where their goals are.
And that's a pretty lengthy discussion, consultation.
Yeah. It is.
And probably like people who have, completely different ideas of what they might have wanted.
Yeah, men and women have nothing personal, but they do. They have completely different ideas on what money is, what they want, how it should be spent, and what debt is, that type of thing. Very different.
So, for people who are seeking some kind of financial plan, there are a lot of stuff online. Is that a good place to start, going online?
Online is information overload. There's so much out there. People telling you should buy the stock, or you should do this, or you should do that. It really comes down to I'm a professional, so I've dealt with this for almost 20 years. It's just sitting down with a person and trying to figure out as an individual. The internet is more like one size fits all. You buy my stock, you buy my mutual fund.
So it would be really beneficial to have a personal consultation.
Yeah. So
and you have more of a tailored solution.
Because you have to understand what people are really, what they're thinking, what they really want.
Thanks so much, Steve, for being here.
Thank you.